Hello and welcome to the Candlelight Podcast, where I, Mohamed Abdalla, talk about different topics, including some of my favorites, which are movies, martial arts, and philosophy. Let's start with this week's quote, guys, shall we? This week's quote is brought to us by actually the same movie that we got last week's quote from, which is The Iron Giant. Because there was this one moment that stood out from the film. Several moments actually kind of stand out there. It's a pretty good movie. Made by Brad Bird, the guy that made The Incredibles and Mission Impossible 4. I mean, what do you expect? Great movie. So, last week's quote was pretty cool, which is "You are who you choose to be." We went and we talked about that last week, but this week there is this quote that it's such a kind of like a blink and you'll miss it type quote, but for sound, for what you hear instead of for what you see. It's just really, it goes by really fast, and you'll see why in a second. The quote is, roughly, by the way, it's kind of paraphrased, "Just do the stupid homework." Just do the stupid homework. Now, before we get into the quote, let's give it some context. So, I'm gonna actually do something that I've never done before on this podcast, ever, and that is to actually show you a video clip right now. In the middle of the podcast. Well, in the beginning. But yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm going to show you a video clip right now where this quote is roughly said. Very roughly. And we'll be able to kind of talk about it based off of that. Based off of the context you'll see right now. So here we go. Here's the clip.
I'm going to have some coffee. What do you want? Some milk or what? Milk?
Coffee's fine. Yeah, I drink it. I'm hip.
I don't know. This is espresso, you know? It's like CoffeeZilla.
I said I'm hip. So she moved me up a grade because I wasn't fitting in, so now I'm even more not fitting in. I was getting good grades, like always. So my mom says, "You need stimulation." And I go, "No, I'm stimulated enough right now."
That's for sure.
So she goes, you don't have a challenge. You need a challenge. So now I'm challenged, all right? I'm challenged to hold on to my lunch money because of all the big mooses who want to pound me because I'm a shrimpy dork who thinks he's smarter than them. But I don't think I'm smarter. I just do the stupid homework. If everyone else just did the stupid homework, they could move up a grade and get pounded too. Is there any more coffee?
So yeah, as you can hear, it was quite the quick rant by Hogarth, the main character of the film. By the way, guys, watch the movie if you didn't. It's a Disney classic, honestly. It's really good. And what I really liked, as you can hear from the film, the context was, well, you've heard it, but, in case you weren't able to catch up to that speed, it's basically that Hogarth does the homework that the school assigns him to do, and he gets bullied because of that. Because he does the homework. And people think, oh, so you do your homework, you do what you have to do, you think you're smarter than us, and therefore the bullies beat him up. So he's getting beat up because he does. Why am I stuttering? Well, by the way, guys, if I don't sound as sharp or as articulate or as animated as I hope that I do sound, it's because, consider that I'm over 7 hours into my fast right now, because I'm still fasting. It's still Ramadan, by the way. This is the last week of Ramadan. Ramadan's gonna finish in about 4 or 5 days. It's passed by really quick. And you know what else is really quick? The rant that Hogarth just said. Oh, tying it back to the thing that I was supposed to talk about. So Hogarth was talking about how the bullies bullied him because he does the homework and therefore they think he's better than them. But he doesn't think that he's better than them. He just does the homework because that's what he has to do. That's his job as a student, basically. That's what he has to do. That's his... I'm trying to think of the word wajib in English, the word of wajib, the Arabic word wajib in English, but it's funny, it can either mean job or homework, which is weird. If you're Arab, you'd understand it. But hey, so he gets bullied because he does what he needs to do. He does what he's supposed to do. That part was initially funny to me because that's something that I've went through myself, which is, not the getting bullied necessarily and people thinking that I think that I'm smarter than them. No, it was rather me and my classmates and my friends. I would do the homework and they would tend to not do the homework, and they'd just be like, "Man, why is everything just not going the way I want it to go? Why are my grades so low? What's going on?" I'm a senior. I'm supposed to graduate. They're supposed to help me. It's like, dude, just do the homework. Like I do. It's simple. You just do the stupid homework. And that's the quote, that I used for this week. Just do the stupid homework. And it's initially that's what kind of interested me in this little rant of his. Besides of it being really funny, but what I really truly found interesting about this phrase, just do the stupid homework, is that just how applicable it is to everything you do in life. How applicable it is with regard to discipline. Because he, as Hogarth puts it, he just does the stupid homework. He doesn't necessarily want to do it. He doesn't necessarily like to do it, but he knows that he has to do it, and he just does it. He just does it. He does the stupid homework. That kind of really spoke to me in the sense that, I have to go to the gym, for example, even though I may not want to this day. I have to eat clean, even though I might not want to as of this moment, because that chocolate cake is looking pretty good, for example, and I have to do this other responsible thing that I don't necessarily want to do, such as maybe, anything to do with my family, with my work, with my, uni, anything that it is. Maybe I just don't want to do it right now, but hey, just do the stupid homework. It's like, it's not to call the homework itself, the job that needs to be done itself, stupid. The job is not stupid, not necessarily. What's stupid is the effort that you need to put in. Just do it. Don't overburden yourself and, think about it and actually cause yourself in the future to regret it, because, you're going to regret it because you need to do it. Just do the stupid homework. Exert the effort needed. Exert the stupid little effort needed to get the job done and be done with it. Just get it done. And man, ever since I watched this movie, last week before the recording of the last week's podcast, I kind of applied that idea of, just doing the stupid work. Just put forward the effort that's needed to finish the job. I've applied that, kind of, and I actually put, a what's it called? A stick it? What these yellow notes that you can stick anywhere, where it's just, a little yellow paper that glues to anything. I think that's what it's called, stick it, if I'm not mistaken, or the post-it. I don't remember off the top of my head. So I have it right here in front of me on my, kind of like on the mirror that's above my desk, that says, "Just do the stupid homework," with an exclamation mark. I've had it here, and it just kind of helped me put things into perspective. Just do the stupid homework. You'll be fine. You'll like it. Oh, by the way, guys, remember how I kind of talked about how my struggle about how in high school I used to crush it and just do everything that is needed to be done, even though I'm, and I felt like I had this vocation, I had this duty to do it, and I did it with, pride in my work. I mentioned how I don't feel that anymore for university for whatever reason, and that's what's really holding me back. Yeah. This quote kind of brought me back to my high school days, my senior high school days, when I just did the stupid homework and got it over with and reaped the benefits. I got good grades, which is not exactly what's happening nowadays. Rather, I have to force myself to do the work, and sometimes I just don't even do the work, and time I could have spent on the project that I'm working on, I've spent it watching YouTube or doing whatever other useless thing, wasting time essentially, that I could have put into my project and to my work to make it better, but I didn't. Not the same kind of behavior that I would exhibit back in senior year in high school, where I did my job. I did what I needed to do. So this quote kind of brought me back to that time, when I had that desire, had that, will to do what I needed to do. So I really liked it. In more than one way, it brought me back to my senior year. As I said, my friend's not doing the homework, I'm doing the homework, and they're wondering why they're not getting good grades, and I'm getting good grades. So it's like, just do the stupid homework. And also, it speaks to me, to bring me back to that mindset of just do the stupid homework, Mohamed. Just do it. and then you'll be better off. Just do what you need to do, and you'll be thankful for it in the future. Don't push, don't delay, don't postpone, don't procrastinate. It's not going to be good. Unless you obviously need to do so, need to postpone it, do not. Do it now. You have to do it. You have to do it either way. You're gonna regret it if you don't do it. So you better do it. Put in those extra hours. Do the workout. Eat clean. Sleep well. Stay hydrated. Take care of your family. Take care of your friends. Take care of your relationships in general. Take care of your work. What you have to do. Take care of your deen. Take care of your religious duties. That's what I just described is everything that I am in life, everything that I do. So just do the stupid homework. Not to say that those things are stupid, to repeat, not to say that those things are stupid, like me having to do this project right now is stupid. No, it's the effort that I need to put in. Just put in the stupid effort. That's what is meant, at least to me, when I say just do the stupid homework. So, anyway, I think we've delved into that enough. 11 minutes in. Man, it's pretty cool. Time flies by, when you're just in the flow state. I'm kind of in the flow state right now. Because I'm actually in a really good mood. Because I've just spent like the past few hours, even though it's not recommended to binge YouTube, but I've been binging like some great content. And that content is brought to you by Beta Squad. The YouTube channel Beta Squad, consisting of I think there's 6 different guys. Yeah, there's 6 different guys. So, they're English dudes just chilling, making YouTube videos and making bank out of it. And because, every single video there's like a banger. It's awesome. The work they do is really incredible. Why's my voice leaving me? So the work that they do is very actually entertaining. Every time I watch these guys, I'm dying laughing. And I don't get to that state of dying laughing as regularly often. It's when I watch these guys, I'm just dead. I'm just like laughing. These guys are awesome. They're very entertaining. Check them out, Beta Squad. So they're like 6 guys. First of all, you got Nico. Well, I'm not going to say first of all because as if he's the first and foremost, he's the leader. No, they're all just like 6 guys, 6 friends living in the same house because, they could afford it because they made bank from this YouTube channel, and they're all living in a mansion in England. So you got, Nico, you got Sharky, you've got AJ, you've got Kenny, you've got wait, how many is that so far? Oh, let me just go through it again. Sharky, Nico, AJ, Kenny. Am I missing someone? Yes, and of course, Amin Mohammed, aka Chunks. But man, who am I leaving out right now? I'm saying everyone. Kenny, Sharky, AJ. Kenny, Sharky, AJ. Man, I don't want to waste your guys' time trying to figure this out. Anyway, these guys are awesome. They're just full of personality and, entertainment, really. But man, who really stands out in terms of personality and charisma? Like, this guy's just got bucket loads of charisma and personality. Nico Omalana. Nico. I've just been watching some of his videos that I don't know why. This past month, like month and a few weeks, I was not keeping up tabs with this YouTube channel, and I've seen that they've done so much. Like, Nico, this guy is running for mayor in London as a joke. This guy's taking trolling to the next level, and he actually applied for office, and he is number 5 in the election polls as of this moment. The election has started a few days ago, and the results are going to come out in a few days, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. This guy is on another level when it comes to the YouTube game. Guys, check him out. He's hilarious. It just, brightens your day because of how, just hilarious and entertaining he is as a person. Such confidence in what he does. He's so entertaining, guys. Nico Amalana. He's actually about my age, like 22 or 23 years old. He's not that far off from me. And man, he's been doing some awesome stuff lately. So anyway, that's Nico. And then you've got Chunks. oh, Chunks, he just posted a video like, what, 13, 14 hours ago, where he decided to leave the music industry because he's, a YouTuber, entertainer, and musician. He sings, but he decided to put music aside, because he decided to, he wanted to get closer to his religion, our shared religion, Islam. And in Islam, music is generally looked down upon because of, the content of music. Generally music has to do with not the most, how can I say, how can I put this properly? Not the most, clean aspects of life, because music generally talks about women, cars, money, drugs, all that type of stuff. So he kind of wants to put that aside. He kind of wants to focus on music that is kind of like nasheed oriented, which is, Islamic songs that are, oriented towards, anything that's beneficial, such as, taking care of yourself, talking about God, talking about religion, talking about anything that's really good for the soul, and, just something that's really of that nature, something that's pure. He doesn't want to be mixed into the music world that's very kind of bad for the soul, if you get my groove, if you know what I mean. So that's something he came out and talked about. He decided that this is a conscious decision that he's making, and this came at a point when he has really started to really peak and take off in his career. He had a 7-figure contract that he was offered at the time that he decided that he was not going to pursue this career anymore. And man, just the level of faith to be able to turn down that thing, to turn down something like that, man. Chunks, you are a gem. Man, that's beautiful. The fact that you are willing to stick to your religion, and no matter what, no matter the pressure, no matter the amount of money, the amount of influence, you decide to just wash your hands and keep it clean. Just to stick, just to keep your deen over the dunya. Keep the religion above this worldly life. Because, we want to secure our akhirah, our afterlife, and make sure it's, the best. And this is what Ramadan is all about, is getting closer to God and making sure that you're taking the right steps in order to make your life better every day and to be closer to God. Just by doing the right thing. So, big ups for Chunks. Man, you're an inspiration for doing this. Amazing. Just amazing. So, that's Chunks for you. And I guess next up that I watched today was Sharky. Sharky, he has his own YouTube channel, of course, because, they all individually have their own YouTube channels. And they're all part of, like, the Beta Squad channel, which is the main channel. But, Sharky, of course, has his own channel, just like Nico does and Chunks does. But anyway, Sharky, his real name, of course, Sharmarki Mohamed. And what does Sharmarki mean? Like, that's an interesting name. I don't even know about what that name means. But anyway, so he talked about he does this thing called Sharky Does Sports. Sharky Does Sports is, his podcast where he talks about just sports in general, like, a basketball, football, real football, not American football, and MMA. And I watched an hour-long podcast of him talking about MMA with his friends, discussing the top 10 greatest of all time of the sport, which I did on this podcast, by the way. We actually talked about this here in this podcast because, it's MMA. You have to kind of, go through that conversation. And, man, it was an hour long, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like 5 to 10 minutes. It went by super fast because it was so entertaining. Entertaining for me because I'm a huge fan of the sport. And, man, Sharky, I really enjoy. It's my first time actually listening to this podcast, and the reason I listened to it was because you were talking to Chunks about his decision to move away from his music career, and he actually gave you a shout out, saying Sharky Does Sports. This is you guys did that, interview, you and Chunks, in the place where you actually do your podcast, Sharky Does Sports. So I decided to actually hop on to Sharky Does Sports and decided to give it a look. And man, I really liked what I saw. I'm gonna hopefully continue watching because, man, you guys are just so awesome, Beta Squad. You guys like very individual, very unique, very personable, very likable, very entertaining, and I guess very good people, should I say? Of course, we're not. Nobody's perfect, as you guys addressed in the interview with Chunks, you and Sharky and Chunks. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but man, there are some good people in this world who are trying to be the best that they can be, who are trying to make themselves better, and that's what really counts. So anyway, I guess in MMA news, because the podcast that I listened to from Sharky to Sports was regarding MMA. Sorry, my voice kind of just cracked on me. Anyway, in MMA news, we've got a few questions to ask ourselves now. Okay, following what happened in UFC 261, what is the future? What's next for Masvidal? Because Masvidal just lost to Usman twice. He lost first in a dominant decision victory by Usman, and then the second time he got knocked out cold badly. So what's next for him? He obviously can't fight for the title anymore because he's had his shot twice and he didn't win. So what does he do? Does he just straight up retire? I mean, he did. This was his 50th pro bout. I mean, what more is there to do? I mean, you could make the fights between him and Leon Edwards, who we're going to talk about, by the way, soon. And you can make a fight between him and Colby because, there's that beef. Him and Leon have beef. Him and Colby have beef. You can make those fights. However, if he does win those fights, I mean, these two guys, Edwards and Covington, are both top 5 guys. If he wins those fights, he's eligible for another title shot. But he can't have another title shot because he just lost twice to the same guy, to the same champion. So it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. It would not. So I'm really wondering, what's next for Masvidal? Is it to fight Nate Diaz again, who we're going to talk about soon as well, him and Edwards? So what does Masvidal do next? I don't know. Maybe he just calls it a day and calls it a career, rather, and just retires, which would be completely fine. But he's such a fighter. He's such a competitor. I don't think he would do that. Let's see what happens. In the words of Dana White, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this thing plays out. And another question is, what's next for Usman? Usman he cleaned out the entire division. He beat Leon Edwards. He beat Tyron Woodley. He beat Colby Covington. He beat Masvidal twice. He beat Gilbert Burns. You know what makes sense for him next? Because now that he's started to lap everyone, because, he just cleaned out the division, and now he's beaten Masvidal again, he's lapping everyone. He's going to go around the track, and actually beat everyone again, like George St. Pierre kind of did. So, what's next for him? I think what's next for him is the winner between... I mean, this guy wants to stay active. This guy is a very active champion. Usman is very active, and he wants to fight in 263 on the undercard of. He wants to co-main with Izzy when he's fighting Vittori on 263. So that's what he wants to do. But who's gonna fight him in 263? There isn't anyone that's clearly ready to fight him. Okay, maybe you could say that Colby is there, sure, but Colby's only beaten Woodley ever since he fought and lost to Usman. He only beat Woodley, who's basically cut from the UFC now because. Following his 4 losses in a row, losing 16 rounds in a row. Yeah. So it's not really... a win over Tyron right now is not really worth that much. So what does Colby have to do in order to, gain the title shot? I mean, he could fight for the title. I don't think anybody would be mad about that. He could fight for the title and Usman could face him next. However... I mean, he hasn't done much, but you know who has done a lot and truly deserves a title fight? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy! He deserves the fight. However, he did not beat a top 5 guy just yet. In the past 2 fights, he fought and beat Vicente Luque, which is an amazing win. Vicente Luque just choked out Tyron Woodley amazingly. staggered him and choked him. And Steven also beat Jeff Neal, which is a really good fight, a top 10 contender who he just beat, and it's in dominant fashion as well. So he's clearly next in line. However, he didn't beat a top 5 guy. And this is where Gilbert Burns comes in, and there's going to be a fight. And hopefully UFC 263 between Wonderboy and Burns. Whoever wins, I think, is clearly up for the next title shot. As you can see, Usman already beat Burns, but he's lapping everyone. He's beating everyone he's beaten already again. He's doing it twice. Man, this guy is on his way to become the greatest of all time. Not just in the division, just in the sport in general. If he keeps up this pace, honestly. With these results, man, Usman is on fire. So, I think if Wonderboy gets past Gilbert, he's definitely the number 1 contender. He should fight Usman next. That's what seems to be the case for Usman. And speaking of another contender we didn't mention yet, we already talked about Masvidal. We talked about Covington. We talked about Gilbert. We talked about Steven just now. Who did we not talk about in the top 5? Well, that person is Leon Edwards. And that's because Leon Edwards is actually fighting Nate Diaz in UFC 262 in the undercard of Oliveira vs. Chandler. Oh, wait a second. No, he's not. Edwards is not fighting Diaz because it's canceled. The fight is canceled. It's going to be postponed, rather. It's going to be delayed onto a later date because, man, why? I was really looking forward to this fight, man. UFC 261, I skipped it because I had, work and I wanted to sleep in and stuff. And I really regretted not watching it live. And now I look forward to watching this one live and kind of like scheduling my work in order to be done with everything and be able to watch the fights live on 262. But now the Diaz and Edwards fight is canceled. What a bummer. But hey, it is what it is, in the words of Max Holloway. So, but that card is still really, really solid, nevertheless. Because, you've got Edson Barboza versus Shane Burgos. That's a crazy fight. Edson Barboza, any fight that he's in, it's a banger. Because, man, it's Edson. Man, yeah, he puts out some great fights. And then you've got Beneil Dariush versus Tony Ferguson. Dariush versus Ferguson, what a great fight. Dariush, a top 10 talent, fighting Ferguson, who used to be in a top 5 but has been beaten out of it. And if he manages to get through Ferguson, he manages to get a top 5 fight, which makes him a contender, a proper contender in the lightweight division. Man, that division is just so stacked, as we'll see with the main event. But if Ferguson gets to beats Beneil Dariush, I think Ferguson is back in the top 5 picture. I think he deserves to get a fight in the top 5, if not a title shot, to be honest, because it's Ferguson, man. But considering how stacked the division is with Oliveira, Chandler, Connor, and Dustin all being vying for the top spot, yeah, it's gonna be hard to give Ferguson a title shot off of just one win against Beneil Dariush, who's not even in the top 5. Yeah, I think he's gonna have to do some more work. But I think Tony's time is over, to be honest. As Habib said, you don't come back from a beating like the one he got from Gaethje. He lost to Gaethje badly. He lost to Oliveira badly as well. And I don't see it going well for him here. He's 37 years old in the lightweight division. You don't get to be that old and still make, waves. You still have amazing results in the division such as lightweight. No, too stacked. Too many killers. So, speaking of lightweight killers, the main event, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler for the lightweight title. Great fight. However, I would prefer to see Chandler against Gaethje first and see who's the number 1 contender after that. But I guess the UFC really fast-tracked Chandler for whatever reason. I don't know why. Oliveira had to have a 8-fight winning streak, beating with 7 finishes. The one fight that wasn't finished being against Tony Ferguson, who refused to tap out to the nastiest armbar I've ever seen in my life. But hey, Chandler gets one knockout win, and he's already in the title picture. Anyway, but he has a pretty good resume, before signing up for the UFC and in Bellator. And yeah, he honestly, I could see him doing it, fighting for the title. And I really want to see what happens with, with this fight, first of all, and then with Dustin and Connor. Who gets to win that? Who wins that? And then they make that fight for the title. But if Connor beats Dustin, it's still going to be an undeserved title shot, honestly. But if Dustin beats Connor, now that's an interesting fight. Dustin versus the winner of Oliveira versus Chandler. Interesting. Looking forward to it. And anyway, guys, I've approached the 30-minute mark, and I don't want to take a lot of your time. So, this was the Candlelight Podcast by yours truly, Mohamed Abdalla. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you come back for more. And once again, just do the stupid homework. See you guys in the next one. Peace.